Welcome back to Real Family Secrets. Grab your snacks, get comfortable. The people in these stories had every chance to behave themselves. They just chose wrong. Drop a comment and be sure to subscribe. You're going to love it here. My name is Adrienne Castellano, and I'm a forensic accountant. 8 years into my marriage, my sister sent me a photograph by mistake. My husband holding two newborns, the caption reading, "Daddy loves you both." I didn't cry. I opened my laptop and booked a consultation with a divorce attorney before I'd even set the phone down. Grant and I married when I was 29. I'd built a career auditing corporate fraud cases, the kind of work that trains you to notice inconsistencies most people would never think to look for. I want you to understand that about me before I tell you the rest of this story, because it explains everything that happened after that photo landed in my messages. My younger sister, Delphine, had grown distant over the past 2 years. Fewer visits, vaguer explanations, a kind of careful management in how she talked about her life that I'd noticed but hadn't investigated. I told myself sisters drift sometimes. I didn't examine it the way I examine everything else. The photo arrived on a Tuesday evening, sent to our family group chat, clearly intended for a different conversation entirely. Grant, unmistakably Grant, sitting in a hospital chair I didn't recognize, holding two infants wrapped in matching blue blankets. The caption, "Daddy loves you both, can't wait to bring you home." Delphine deleted it within 90 seconds. 90 seconds was enough. I'd already saved a screenshot before the message vanished, a reflex built from years of documenting things before people could take them back. Delphine did devoir. I didn't confront anyone that night. I sat at my kitchen table, opened my laptop, and did the only thing that ever actually helps me when the ground shifts beneath me. I started building a file. I pulled 18 months of joint credit card statements, cross-referenced them against Grant's claimed work travel schedule, and mapped out a pattern I'd apparently been too trusting to notice on my own. A recurring charge at a boutique OBGYN practice in Scottsdale, Arizona, a city Grant supposedly visited only for quarterly vendor audits. Hotel charges at a property 3 miles from that practice, dated consistently over the past year, always coinciding with dates I could now cross-reference against Delphine's own increasingly vague travel mentions. Delphine had moved to Phoenix 18 months earlier, ostensibly for a marketing job. I'd visited her twice during that period. Both times, she'd seemed exhausted in a way I'd attributed to a demanding new role. I hired a private investigator the following week, a methodical woman named Renata Osei who specialized in financial infidelity cases, the kind of work that overlaps heavily with what I do professionally, just applied to a much more personal category of fraud. It took Renata 11 days to build a complete picture. Grant and Delphine had been involved for just over 2 years. The twins in that photograph were born 6 weeks earlier, quietly, at a hospital 40 minutes from a life he'd continued living with me the entire time, uninterrupted. I sat with that report for 3 full days before deciding exactly how I wanted to proceed. Not out of hesitation about leaving, that decision had made itself the moment I saw the photograph, but because I wanted to understand the full financial architecture of what I was about to dismantle. Grant had been quietly moving money for over a year. A separate account, funded through skimmed deposits from his consulting income that never made it into our joint statements, used to cover an apartment lease in Scottsdale under an LLC registered to his brother. I traced the LLC filing, the lease agreement, and 11 months of transfers, building the same kind of clean, irrefutable documentation I'd use on any corporate fraud case. The difference this time was that the fraud had happened in my own kitchen, across from me, over 8 years of dinners. I retained a divorce attorney, a sharp, unflappable woman named Corinne Ashby, who reviewed my file in under 20 minutes and told me plainly that I had, in her words, the cleanest financial misconduct case she'd seen in a decade. New York recognizes marital fraud as an aggravating factor in equitable distribution, Corinne told me. Combined with the diverted income and the undisclosed LLC, you have grounds not just for divorce, but for a significant financial clawback. I didn't confront Grant immediately. I let 3 more weeks pass, quietly, while Corinne and I finalized the filing, froze what marital assets we legally could, and documented every remaining transaction before he had any reason to suspect I knew anything. I wanted the filing served before he had a chance to move a single additional dollar. I was served with process papers signed by Grant on a Thursday afternoon, at his office, in front of colleagues, exactly as Corinne and I had arranged. He called me 40 minutes later, his voice unsteady in a way I'd genuinely never heard from him. Adrian, what is this? Why would you file without even talking to me first? I know about Scottsdale, I said. I know about the twins. I know about the LLC your brother registered for you, and I know about every dollar you diverted from your consulting income over the past 14 months. The line went completely quiet. I could hear him breathing, the specific sound of a man realizing the ground had already shifted long before he'd noticed. Adrian, please, I can explain everything. We can talk about this like adults. There's nothing to explain, I said. I have 11 months of financial records, a private investigator's report, and a divorce attorney who thinks I have one of the cleanest fraud cases she's seen in years. You don't need to explain anything. I already did the math. What about Delphine? He asked quietly. Does she know you know? She will, I said, right after I finish this call. I called Delphine immediately afterward. She answered on the second ring, and I could hear, even before either of us said a word, that she already suspected something had shifted. Adrian, she said carefully. I have the photograph, I said, the one you deleted in 90 seconds. I have 18 months of records. I have a report from a private investigator. I know about the twins. Delphine started crying immediately, the specific sound of someone who has been carrying something heavy for a long time, and finally set it down. I'm so sorry, she said. I didn't know how to tell you. Every month it got worse, and I just kept telling myself I'd find the right moment. There wasn't a right moment, I said. There was just the moment you got caught, and it happened to be an accident instead of a choice you made. I didn't yell at her. I didn't need to. 8 years of quietly training myself to build airtight cases had left me with exactly one instinct in moments like this: document, calculate, execute, and leave the emotional reckoning for later, privately, on my own terms. The divorce finalized 8 months later, on terms significantly more favorable to me than a standard equitable split, given the documented fraud and diverted income Corinne had built the case around. Delphine and I haven't spoken since that phone call. I understand, distantly, that she and Grant are still together, raising the twins in Scottsdale, in an apartment that, ironically, my legal settlement ended up partially funded by his diverted consulting fees over the past year. I kept the house. I kept my career, which, if anything, sharpened considerably after this. I now specialize almost exclusively in marital and family financial fraud cases, work I approach with a level of precision that clients occasionally find unsettling. I think about that photograph sometimes, 90 seconds on a screen that changed the entire architecture of my life. I've decided I'm grateful for the mistake. Most people get their answers slowly, painfully, in fragments. I got mine in one accidental caption, and I used every second afterward to make sure I never had to ask a single question I didn't already have the answer to. If this story moved you, subscribe for more real family stories and tell us in the comments. Could you have stayed as calm as Adrian did?
In a Uber, wrist on cruise, no pressure. Your girl's in the back row laughing at my gesture. You said you're done with the drama, prove you better. Told you save me one dance, I'll match your tempo, measure for measure. You walk in, whole room, leans your waist, silk dress, low bass, DJ press play. You say you only came out for a little escape, but the way you move says you needed this break. Talking about your week, how they drain your time. Are you tired of the boys that don't read your mind? Told you, cock out, let me set that vibe. Let your phone die out, let your shoulders unwind. You said you hate when a man just flex, all talk, no touch, just ego and text. I ain't here tryna sell you a dream, just a backbeat, hand on your waist on the beat in between. If you feel what I feel, don't fight that rush. Let your guard come down when our body brush. Let me be your all switch tonight. Turn your worries down low, turn your body up right. You ain't gotta clock it, girl, you sign off life. I'ma keep your word on mute while your smile's on high. Let me be your playlist, your late night drive. Every little note in your post sideline. We can write a hook with the way you say my name. If you give me that chance, I won't play that game. Look, Look, you got your own bag, you don't need my chain. You just need one space where you feel no strain. You don't care about views, you don't chase no fame. You just want one touch that don't feel the same. You like jokes in the car more than posts online. Say you love real talk more than corny lines. You the type make a man put his phone on face down so he don't miss one look on your face. We don't need a label for the way this feels. We can keep it grown, keep it all too real. No countdown, no promise we can keep. Just you leaning on me when the room too deep. If your friends wanna leave, let them call that right. We can take one more song, let the night decide. Let me be your off switch tonight. Turn your worries down low, turn your body up right. You ain't got a clock in, girl, you signed off life. I'ma keep your world on mute while your smile's on high. Let me be your playlist, your late night drive. Every little note in your post sideline. You can take the lead, I can move in time. Long as you don't dim what I see in your eyes. Car door open, you don't wanna go yet. Lip gloss faded, perfume on my chest. You say text me when you get back safe. Told you next time we don't rush this pace. Save your name with a heart and a flame on the side. Cause you feel like home with a wild inside.